Find the square root. Because 6 times 6 is 36, the principal square root, the positive square root of 36 is 6. Because 11 times 11 is 121. The principal square root of 121 is 11. Because 15 times 15 is 225. The principal square root of 225 is 15. And because 100 times 100 is 10,000, the principal square root of 10,000 is 100. We want to know the location of square root of 250. 15 times 15 is 225, a perfect square. 16 times 16 is 256, a perfect square. 250 is between 225 and 256. Now, the square root of 250 is between the square root of 225 and the square root of 256. So the square root of 250 is between 15 and 16. Therefore, these two integers are 15 and 16. For number 6, we want to know if 4 minus square root of 17 is positive or negative. Remember, the square root of 16 is less than the square root of 17, and the square root of 16 is 4. Therefore, 4 is less than 17, and 4 minus 17 will be negative. Square root of 18 times square root of 2. We're going to put them together. It'll be square root of 18 times 2, which is square root of 36. It's equal to 6. We rearrange the factors. 5 times 3, and then square root of 7 times 7. 5 times 3 is 15, and 7 times 7 is 49. Square root of 49. 15 times 7, square root of 49 is 7, and 15 times 7 is 105. 5 square root of 3 between parentheses squared means 5 square root of 3 times 5 square root of 3. Rearranging the factors, 5 times 5 times square root of 3 times 3. 5 times 5, 25, square root of 9, which means 25 times 3, which is 75. Square root of 50 divided by 2, we put them together, square root of 25, which is 5. Square root of 100 minus 64 is 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. Detach them, square root of 25 divided by square root of 36, which is 5 over 6. We're going to simplify the square root because 75 is 25 times 3. 75 is 25 times 3. The square root of 75 will be 5 square root of 3. 48 is 16 times 3. The square root of 48 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 3, which is 4 square root of 3. 96 is 16 times 6. The square root of 96 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 6. Therefore, it's 4 square root of 6. 32 is 16 times 2. The square root of 32 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, which is 4 square root of 2. 128 is 64 times 2. Square root of 128 is the square root of 64 times the square root of 2. Square root of 64 is 8, so it's 8 square root of 2. Because 49 is 9 times 5, square root of 49 is square root of 9, which is 3 times square root of 5. One square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5, 4 square root of 5. 7 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 45, which is really 2 square root of 9 times square root of 5. Therefore, we have 7 square root of 5 minus 2 times 3, 6 square root of 5. We are left with 1 square root of 5, or plainly square root of 5. Square root of 27 is square root of 9 times square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 3. Square root of 9 is 3. Therefore, we have 3 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 3. We are left with 1 square root of 3, which is just square root of 3. Distribution, square root of 3 times 5, 5 of them, 5 square root of 3, minus square root of 3 times square root of 3, square root of 3 squared, or square root of 9. 5 square root of 3 minus, and square root of 9 is 3. Distribution again, 3 square root of 6 times square root of 3 will become 3 square root of 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 3 square root of 3 times square root of 6, 3 square root of 6 times 6, which is 36. 3 square root of 9 times 2, square root of 9 times square root of 2, plus 3 times 6, which is 18. Square root of 36 is 6. 3 times square root of 9, 3 times 3, 9. Square root of 2 plus 18, and we're done. We are still simplifying radicals. 2 square root of 5 and square root of 15 is square root of 5 times square root of 3. Square root of 5 times square root of 3. And square root of 12 is square root of 4 times square root of 3. Now, square root of 3 over square root of 3 cancel. we're left with 2 square root of 25 over square root of 4. So it's 2 times square root of 25, which is 5, divided by 2. And the 2 cancel. The final answer is 5. Number 2 in factored form, 5 times square root of 3. And square root of 6 is square root of 3 times square root of 2. Divided by square root of 2. Square root of 2 cancel. We're left with 5 times square root of 9, which means 5 times 3, which is 15. Find the missing side. They're asking you for c. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. C squared is equal to 5 squared plus 4 squared. So c squared is equal to 25 plus 16. C squared is equal to 41. And c is equal to square root of 41. For number 4, we ask to find b. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. 9 squared is equal to 6 squared plus b squared. 9 squared is 81. 6 squared, 36, plus b squared. B squared is equal to 36 minus 81. When we subtract 36 from both sides, b squared is equal to 45. B is equal to the square root of 45. And 45 is 9 times 5. So it's the square root of 9 times the square root of 5, which is 3 square root of 5.